if you're a Gemini born May 21st to June 20th, what can you expect for the month of December 2016? Let's tune in and find out. So Geminis, there's a lot of you that have been feeling a little upside down. And whether that's you haven't been able to get a handle on a loved one and their emotions, or whether it's your own emotions, or whether there's some incompletions with your work or your career, it's all bottled up here in the throat as I'm having a hard time even talking. So a lot of you just are keeping it right here in the throat chakra. And what you want to realize is that this month there's a much more freeing energy. We're sort of all under the sign of the new moon in Sag, which begins November 29th. And Sagittarius is a much more freeing, just kind of open energy that's really lighthearted and really brings in an opportunity for us to all lighten up. So I think you're really going to benefit, Geminis, to not be so hard on yourself this month and to really enjoy this lighter mood that Sagittarius is bringing in for all of us. So let's look at Gemini's romantic partner, and for those of you in a committed relationship, what you can expect for the month of December. So Geminis, I can feel some of you a little tentative, a little hesitant or shy. You know, you want to say some things and you want to, be a little more bold in your actions. And I think that you're going to find the courage this month to do that. I think that, you can be so sensitive and so heartfelt, Gemini, and you really, some of you are really seeing yourself as somebody new and or creating your relationship new, and there's so much you want to have happen. At the same time, I feel this frozen fear inside of you, this terror, that it's not going to happen, and just let that be. There's nothing to do with it. Just keep taking right actions and right thoughts, and those actions and thoughts are going to melt that fear. Okay, there's nothing to do with it. Just don't let it stop you, and your actions will prove otherwise. Okay, so it feels like this month is going to really be one that gives you a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment. There's a lot of freedom. For those of you that are single, there's a lot of dating. There's a lot of stuff happening. I mean, Geminis, you've got like it's spin the wheel, so if you're single, Geminis, as they say, your dance card is full. You can have a lot of different people, a lot of different times. Now, that may not exactly be what you want. I know a lot of Geminis really enjoy just being in a committed relationship. So if you're one of those Geminis that really you want to weed through all of that, those options, let's say, is there an opportunity for you to do that this month? Yes, there is. And it really feels like it's the first part of the month. Before we get into the retrograde, Mercury goes retrograde December 19th. And I feel like you'll meet somebody prior to that retrograde that really kind of like you're intrigued with. And the advice is if there's one person that you meet before that 19th, really cultivate and focus on that individual as opposed to spreading yourself so thin with a bunch of different relationships, especially after the 19th, because from the 19th to the January 8th, when Mercury goes retrograde, that makes it more difficult for us to see the whole person that we're interacting with. So if we meet somebody new during that time, generally those relationships don't stick. Generally, they aren't, as a rule, long-term relationships. They're more for fun. Now, if you're just somebody who's out for a good time, fine, have at it, because that's what you'll get. It's just a good time, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want something more, I would stick whoever you're dating with before the 19th, 18th, 19th, and until after the January, let's say 10th, to be on the safe side. And then anybody you meet again, after, either before or after, are more likely to be a better match, more strongly suited for you. There's going to be less confusion, less surprises, right? Now, and I'm not talking about, there's always a good surprise and a bad surprise. These are bad surprises. These are the things you didn't see coming, and like, oh my gosh, they're married, or oh my gosh, they didn't tell me they had, 2 kids and that they're grown, but they come home every summer. Like, just complications can arise. And things that maybe you didn't know about that will come up. So just be aware of that. Now, because Sagittarius is a new moon happened November 29th and has influenced us a little bit more, you may find yourself second guessing, and you may find yourself less committal. And you may find that, wow, I'm liking this serial dating, and you got to remember, that's not exactly you. There's this little bit of the Sagittarian, or maybe it is you, but there's this Sagittarian energy overriding you. So, which makes it just more sexy and fun just to have, dialing for, dates every night, just a different connection. But just be aware that energy is going to leave. The new moon is going to come in December 29th in Capricorn, which is much more put my feet in the ground. I want to be, want to be in a relationship. I want it now, right? Like that kind of like solid energy. So just know you'll be under that influence at the end of December. So these influences, they just kind of sway us. They aren't our free will. They don't dominate us, but they sort of color what we're working with. And so just having that awareness, just know that there is huge potential here for you to create a long-term relationship if you want it. And the best time is whomever you're dating now or will be meeting up until, that first 2 weeks of December, right? You have a really strong likelihood that could be the one. And/or then afterwards, after January 10th, let's say, moving forward. So huge opportunity, Geminis, for you guys to. Now, here's the other thing. This can also be relationships with work. It can also be new landlords. It can be a new relationship with, a roommate, new people that you're going into relationship with in a new way. And again, I would stay away from, having somebody new come in and then have them move in with you and you don't really know them, because they're not likely to stay. So, and it's the same with signing a lease or something. You want to stay away from doing that December 19th to January 8th. You're likely to break it, right? And I know you think that's hogwash, but it's true. So if you're going to sign something, do it before the 19th. Otherwise, you're likely to see something in the small print that either you didn't like, or that you end up breaking it, or the landlord ends up asking you to break it. There's some dynamics to be dealt with there. Okay, so now let's look at the money for Geminis for the month of December. So some of you get some nice windfalls in, and you may be expecting this. You may be aware of money that's coming in that's earned. Maybe you're in sales and it's coming in, or maybe you've sold a house or you've sold a car or something. But I do see like a big chunk of money coming in that you're aware of. So I really see that. Now, here's the other thing is it also feels like it can be gobbled up quickly. It does feel like if you don't pay attention to your money, the wind just comes in and blows it all away. So what you want to be aware of, Gemini, is really focusing on where you want your money to go. So you're really going to have to work a little harder this month to focus on your money because of that Sagittarius sort of free. January won't be so hard, but December, it can slip right through your fingers. So just be aware of that you need to be a little more accountable for your money this month, because next month will be easier. But this month, even with all the money that's coming in, I really see it kind of like flowing up and you not being able to hang on to it. So to counteract that, just going to have to slow down, be a little more diligent, and pay attention where you're spending, and knowing when to spend and when not to spend, right? So just paying closer to attention is going to help you. Anything about their health for Geminis? Well, I feel like you have a sense of what's going on with your health, and I feel like you know how to take better care of yourself. There is a sense of getting a little off track with the holidays, maybe with your exercise or with you eating, which is normal. Of course, you guys have the twin energy, which is all or nothing, right? So you have to combat that sometimes within yourself. So I see that trajectory going back and forth. But again, the Sagittarius kind of freeing energy can kind of help save you this month from having to go through that combat of back and forth. So it does feel like there's an opportunity for the health to smooth out and for you guys to kind of like go through this month just like a heartbeat, like not have it be a hiccup or have it be bad, but just something that's smooth and easygoing. And that's purely by listening to your own instincts and paying attention to your actions. And it does feel like this month would be a little bit easier than you found in the past. All right, anything else for Geminis this month? Yeah, you will have creative energy kind of like off the charts, problem solving off the charts, but little patience. Like, so you're going to want to work on your patience because it's going to seem so obvious to you, some of the problem solvings that you're able to see, and the other people and other people aren't seeing it or aren't getting it, or you're not being given all the information. And that's a big piece of it. It feels like all the information, not all of it's being given to you, and then that creates some problems. So just be aware there's this little like wrestling match or this settling period that has to happen with that retrograde. So just kind of go easy on any changes or ideas that you make around work those first 2 weeks or commitments. Know that they're going to be sort of tested and challenged, in mid-December through the first week in January, and then things will settle down and start to move in the right direction. And that new moon, December 29th in Capricorn, is really going to help things to get cemented in a new way for you so that your career kind of gets back on track and you don't feel like you're sputtering anymore and you really feel like you're, really moving forward into 2017. So I see projecting forward, this can be really good for you and really positive. It's just going to require you to have a little patience in that middle of December period. All right, Geminis, feels like a really great month for you where a lot of situations are in your control, which is really nice. So have an amazing month. Thank you for participating in my intuitive astrology, for liking it and sharing it with friends. And I wish you nothing but the most wonderful holidays this year and a fabulous new year. And I look forward to connecting with you again in 2017. Have a great month, everyone.